Lists of folly. Folly means मूर्खता या बेवकूफ़ी या नादानी. A flawed SIR should not be basis for the distribution of benefits. Flawed means doshयुक्त. The Supreme Court has reiterated its position. Reiterated means इस बात को फिर से दोहराना, फिर से कहना, बार बार कहना. Has its position that exclusion from the electoral rules cannot have consequences. Consequences का मतलब है परिणाम, नतीजा, असर, प्रभाव. Unrelated to voting. The court was responding to West Bengal government orders issued in May-June that linked welfare benefits and official caste certification to the outcomes of the special intensive revision of the electoral rolls. Those removed would become ineligible for certain welfare benefits and certification under these orders. A May 19 notification directed that persons removed from the electoral roll should not continue as beneficiaries of the Annapurna Yojana, a cash transfer scheme for women, unless they had laid appeals before the SIR tribunals. A June 4 order directed the deletion of beneficiaries from the public distribution system. On May 14, the government decided to re-verify and cancel the caste certificates of those persons whose names had been deleted from the rolls. The decision ran contrary to the clear instruction of the court in Bihar. The Bihar SIR case, which specially barred barred means prevented or प्रतिबंधित करना authorities from using SIR outcomes for any purpose other than determining voting rights. The court has now issued notices to the Election Commission of India, the West Bengal government, and the state's chief electoral officer. Approximately 34 lakh appeals have been laid against SIR outcomes in West Bengal, and only a tiny fraction of them has been disposed of, leaving millions in a precarious का मतलब है खतरनाक, अनिश्चित, अस्थिर. Precarious state of uncertainty. Their exclusion from welfare benefits, including the food support, is unconsignable. Unconsignable means अनुचित, अनैतिक. This is a legal paradox in the relation. Paradox का मतलब है विरोधाभास, असंगति. In relationship between citizenship and electoral roll. The roll is meant to include only citizens, but enrollment on the roll is not by itself proof of citizenship. This paradox apart, it is a sound and uh, common sense, commonsensical मतलब व्यावहारिक समझदारी पूर्ण assumption that many citizens are not enrolled as voters. In other words, all those enlisted as voters must be citizens, but not all citizens are necessarily enrolled as voters. While this may be a simple and straightforward propositions for the state to link the absence of person's name from the electoral roll to other aspects of civic life, especially subsistence. Subsistence means गुजारा निर्वाह जीवन निर्वाह जीविका. Subsistence benefits is both illogical and cruel. In its Bihar SIR judgment, the court clearly stated that exclusion from electoral roll cannot by itself determine the citizenship status, and that SIR outcomes are linked only to electoral purposes. The specific facts and legal principles relating to the SIR notwithstanding, larger issues are also at stake. These include universal human rights that must apply to all persons and citizens and non-citizens alike. Clear Clean electoral rolls and targeted welfare beneficiary can contribute to better governance, but the state must not take leave of logic and common sense. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल है पॉलिटिकल माइनफील्ड्स. माइनफील्ड्स मतलब कि बारूदी सुरंगों का क्षेत्र हो, जोखिम भरा जटिल मामला. So Andy Burnham cannot deliver for UK if he remains in survival mode. So Andy Burnham, the former mayor of Greater Manchester and the new Prime Minister of United Kingdom, has picked a challenging time to enter office. The revolving doors at 10 Downing Street appear to be spinning off their hinges. Spinning means गोल गोल घूमना, uh, और um, spin off their hinges means कि पागल सन की मानसिक रूप से असंतुलित उखड़ा हुआ. He will be the seventh prime minister in just over a decade and the fifth in 4 years. Nevertheless, he has promised a fresh start and economic social revival that truly set himself apart from the fumbling. Fumbling means गड़बड़ चूक होना या टटोलना. Opposed to his predecessor, Keir Starmer, he might have to spearhead. Spearhead means नेतृत्व करना, a radical change in the governance and be willing to redefine the traditional Labour Party framework to tackle the spiraling crisis of cost of living. Freeing, freeing means धागे निकलना, दंगल लड़ाई उखड़ना. Freeing global alliances, disagreements on immigration policy, and the fiscal pressure of an aging population, he might learn from Mr. Stammer's missteps, who won the Labour a uh, जबरदस्त भारी resounding मतलब a resounding victory in 2024 with just 34% popular vote. It was, however, a loveless landslide according to some analysts and had more to do with disenchantment. Disenchantment means nirasha, भ्रम दूर करना, with previous conservative governments for losing their grip on macroeconomic policy management. Although Mr. Stammer at the time vowed means कसम खाई प्रतिज्ञा की to restore respect to politics, a mini scandal over government official accepting gifts and policy furor. Furor means hangama, कोलाहल, जनता का आक्रोश over botched means बिगड़ा हुआ, खराब किया हुआ, plans to cut welfare spending, and an error of judgment in appointing Peter Mandelson, discredited by his association with convicted sex offenders. Jerry Epstein, a UK ambassador to US, led to Mr. Stammett's ousting. Ousting means बेदखल करना, पदच्युत करना by his party. To avoid continuing this cycle of leaders who appear to be unable to govern what appears to be an increasingly ungovernable policy after Brexit, and a weary means थका हुआ, public that is looking for a new model of governance to stabilize their embattled means संकटग्रस्त nation amidst means के मध्य में, के बीच में, के दौरान, amidst political storms. Mr. Burham will need to quickly implement reforms while tamping down. Tamping down means दबाना, काबू में करना, on infighting. Infighting means आपसी कलह, and factionalism. Factionalism means गुटबाजी. Within labor, he has little room to maneuver. Maneuver means uh, चालाकी, कूटनीति on public revenue, given his party promised not to raise taxes. Yet he will have to find innovative ways to cut the UK's welfare bill and entitlements. Similarly, he cannot abandon means छोड़ देना, European allies in their support for Ukraine against Russian depredations. Depredations means लूटपाट, तबाही, विनाश on its soil. Yet he will have to act quickly to mend fences with Mr. Donald Trump administration to prevent further breakdown in the special relationship. On immigration, net migration to the UK is said to be down compared to previous years, yet the thirst for even tighter immigration policies in some quarter is being contested. Contested means विवादित by some Labour MPs and progressive leaders who are seeking a compromise approach. He will have to step Nimbly means furti se across the many political minefields in tackling these challenges, yet remember that history rewards dynamism and fresh thinking rather than leaders stuck in survival mode. एक बार वर्ड्स रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. फर्स्ट वर्ड है फॉली. फॉली का मीन्स है मूर्खता, बेबाकी, लैक ऑफ गुड सेंस, विजडम और फोरसाइट. सिनोनिम्स है फूलिशनेस, स्टुपिडिटी, absurdity, recklessness, imprudence, madness. Antonyms है wisdom, prudence, sagacity, good sense, sanity. इस मिलता जुलता idiom है height of folly, the extreme level of foolishness. Sentence: investing all your life savings into unverified online scam is the height of folly. Phrasal word है sheer folly or utter folly means absolute or complete madness. Example: attempting to climb mountain during severe blizzard is sheer folly. Another phrasal word है follies of ways means realizing one's past mistakes or unwise action. Example: after losing his business, he finally saw the folly of his ways and started listening to advice. Next word है reiterate. Reiterate means दोहराना, फिर से कहना. To say, state or perform something again multiple times using usually to emphasize to clarify a point. Synonyms: repeat, restate, reaffirm, recapitulate, emphasize, recount. Antonyms say retract, take back, repudiate, keep silent, conceal. Idiom है to hammer something home means the idiom means to state or reiterate a point forcefully and repeatedly so that it cannot be misunderstood or ignored. Example: the professor hammered home the importance of double checking research data before submitting the final report. Phrasal words say reiterate a point or position to state an opinion or argument again forcefully. Example: I want to reiterate my position on this matter. We cannot afford to skip quality checks. Next word है reiterate the need for something to stress again that something is essential. Example: the health department reiterated the need for clean drinking water during summer season. Next word है consequences. Consequences means परिणाम, नतीजा, असर, a result, effect or outcome of particular action or condition. Example: if you choose to skip your studying all semesters, you have to be ready to face the consequences when exam results come out. इसके synonyms है result, outcome, effect, aftermath, repercussions, fallout, impact. Antonyms है cause, origin, source, catalyst, antecedent. इसका रिलेटेड ईडीएम है फेस द म्यूजिक. इसका मतलब है to accept and deal with unpleasant consequences of one's own action. Sentence है after missing the deadline of 3 consecutive projects, Mark finally had to face the music when his boss called him into the office. इसके phrasal word है as a consequence or in consequence as a direct result of something. Example: roads are flooded and as consequences morning tariff was completely blocked. Next word है of little or no consequence means not important or having no significant impact. Example: don't worry about making the small typo in the draft. It is of no consequence to the overall pitch. Next phrasal word is suffer or bear the consequence to endure the negative outcomes of a mistake. Example: if you sign a contract without reading it carefully, you will have to suffer the consequences. नेक्स्ट वर्ड है बार्ड. बार्ड का मीन से प्रतिबंधित, ताला लगाना, धारिया वाला, प्रिवेंटेड, सिक्योर्ड और शट विद बार और रोड. इसका एग्जांपल स्टेटमेंट है ड्यू टू मल्टीपल सेफ्टी वायोलेशंस द ड्राइवर वाज बार्ड फ्रॉम competing in the national tournament. Synonyms say banned, prohibited, excluded, blocked, forbidden, restricted, barricaded. Antonyms: allowed, permitted, admitted, unlocked, welcomed, unrestricted. इससे रिलेटेड इडियम है नो होल्ड्स बार्ड. Is originating from wrestling. This idiom means with no rules, limits, or restriction on what something is allowed to do. Example: during the debate, both political candidates engaged in a no hold barred argument over the new tax policies. इसके phrasal word से barred from means officially prevented from participating or entering. Example: he was barred from entering the building until security verified his identity. Next word है barred to means closed or inaccessible to a specific group. Example: the private lounge is barred to non-members. Next word है precarious. Precarious means खतरनाक, अनिश्चित, अस्थिर, not securely held or in position. Example, the heavy vase was placed in a precarious position on the very edge of the wobbly table. Synonyms: unstable, risky, uncertain, perilous, hazardous, insecure, shaky. Antonyms is secure, stable, safe, firm, certain, reliable. Idiom is skating on thin ice. is मतलब है placing oneself in a risky, precarious or dangerous situation where a single mistake could cause a serious trouble. Sentence: you are skating on thin ice by coming late to work every single day this week. Phrasal word है precarious balance or situations means a delicate state where the slightest push can lead to ruin or failure. Example: the country's economy is currently in precarious situation due to rising inflation. Next, precarious livelihood, living with no steady income or security. Example: daily wage laborers often lead precarious existence during rainy season. Unconsignable means अनुचित, अनैतिक, is not guided by conscience, shockingly unfair, unreasonable, excessive or morally unacceptable. Example: charging disparate disaster victims 5 times the normal price for fresh water is simply unconsignable. Synonyms say unethical, unscrupulous, excessive, unjust, inexcusable, shocking, outrageous. Antonyms say ethical, moral, reasonable, fair, just, honest. Idiom है beyond the pale means totally unacceptable, unreasonable or outside boundaries of proper moral behavior. Example: his consignable behavior toward the elderly landlord was completely beyond the pale. Phrasal word है unconsignable delay means unreasonably long delay that causes unnecessary harm. Example: the court criticized the municipal council for unconsignable delay in repairing the damaged bridge. Next is unconceivable conduct or act, behavior that completely disregards fairness or morality. Example: taking advantage of vulnerable customers is an unconsignable act for any reputable business. नेक्स्ट वर्ड है पैराडॉक्स. पैराडॉक्स का मतलब है विरोधाभास, असंगत बात. A statement, situation or person that seems self-contradictory or absurd on the surface. Synonyms are contradictions, enigma, puzzle, anomaly, oxymoron, inconsistency. Antonyms are certainty, normality, consistency, congruity, logical statement. Related idiom, double-edged sword means something that has both positive and negative consequences at the same time. Working with home is a double-edged sword. It gives you total schedule flexibility, but it makes it hard to unplug from work. Phrasal words, apparent paradox, something that seems contradictory at the first glance but makes sense once explained. Example: scientists explain the apparent paradox of exercise giving people more energy despite burning calories. Next phrasal word is central or fundamental paradox, the main underlying contradiction within a theory or situation. Example statement: the central paradox of his personality was that he was extremely famous yet deeply shy. Next word है commonsensical means व्यवहारिक समझदारी भरा, displaying based on or marked by practical judgment and common sense. Example: instead of applying complex theories, she took a commonsensical approach to solving the office scheduling problem. Synonyms are practical, sensible, reasonable, level-headed, pragmatic, sound, down to earth. Antonyms: foolish, impractical, senseless, irrational, unreasonable, absurd. Idioms: have a good head on one's shoulders means possess practical judgment, common sense, and wisdom. Example statement: even though he is quite young, Rahan was a good head on his shoulders and always makes commonsensical decision under pressure. Phrasal uses: commonsensical approach or solution, a practical way of solving problems that relies on everyday logic. Example, technician offered a commonsensical solution to fix the machine without buying expensive part. Next is commonsensical advice, clear, down-to-earth guidance that makes immediate practical sense. Example statement, my grandmother gave me some commonsensical advice about managing my monthly expenses. Next is subsistence. Subsistence means guzara nirvaha, the state or condition of remaining alive or maintaining life, especially at a minimal or bare necessity level. Example, many small-scale farmers in drought-hit region rely entirely on subsistence farming just to feed their own families. Synonyms, survival, livelihood, maintenance, sustenance, existence, means. Antonyms, luxury, surplus, excess, wealth, affluence. Idioms are keep the wolf from the door, means to earn just enough money to afford basic necessities like food and shelter. Example, he works two part-time jobs just to make enough money to keep the wolf from the door. Phrasal words say subsistence level means income or resource just sufficient to provide the bare necessities of life. Example, due to low wage, thousands of families are currently living at subsistence level. Next is subsistence farming or agriculture, farming that produce only enough food to feed the farmer's family with little or none left over to sell. Example, transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture require access to modern equipment and credit. Eke out a subsistence means to barely manage to make a living. Example, the villagers managed to eke out a subsistence by collecting and selling firewoods. नेक्स्ट वर्ड है माइनफील्ड माइनफील्ड का मतलब है सुरंग बारूदों का क्षेत्र सो इसका फिगरेटिव मीनिंग है कि a situation subject or process fraught with hidden unexpected risk जोखिम भरा example sentence navigating tax regulation for a small international business can be total minefield for new entrepreneurs. Synonyms hazard zone, trap laden path, pitfall, danger zone, quagmire, horn of dilemma. Antonyms safe haven, plain sailing, smooth waters, clear path, low risk situation. Idiom है walking through minefield means dealing with delicate high risk solution situation where every tiny mistake could trigger a major conflict or figure failure. Sentence negotiating the inheritance the items along the estranged family members felt like walking through a minefield. Phrasal words say political or ethical or legal minefield, a domain full of complex laws, morals, public reaction that can easily backlash. Example, AI generated content copyright law has quickly become a legal minefield. Minefield. Navigate a minefield to carefully maneuver through a tricky or dangerous process. Example, a project manager knows how to navigate the minefield of corporate politics. Next word is spinning. Spinning means घूमना, सूत काटना या चक्कर काटना. Example statement, ice skater set a world record by spinning effortlessly on the ice for over 20 seconds. Synonyms rotating, twirling, whirling, revolving, swirling, reeling, weaving. Antonyms stationary, still, motionless, fixed, unmoving. Idiom spinning one's wheels means expending a lot of effort without making any real progress. Sentence without a clear project plan, the development team spent 3 weeks just spinning their wheels. Phrasal words spine out means to lose control while driving and slide uncontrollably. Example, the car hit a patch of block ice and spun out into slide walls. Next is spin off. Spin off means to produce something new as a secondary result or byproduct. Example, the popular video game was so successful that it spun off an animated series. नेक्स्ट वर्ड है ऑफ देयर hinges. hinges का लिटरल मीनिंग है उखड़ा हुआ पर फिगरेटिव मीनिंग है पागल सन की मानसिक रूप से असंतुलित. So example statements है ever since he lost his job he has been acting like a completely off his hinges. Synonyms है unhinged, unbalanced, crazy, mentally unstable, deranged, out of control, mad. Antonyms is sane, balanced, level-headed, rational, well-adjusted, attached. Idioms of one's rocker. इसका मीनिंग है extremely foolish, absurd or mentally unstable, essentially the exact idiomatic equivalent. एक sentence है if you think you can build a house without a foundation, you must be completely off your rocker. Phrasal word say fly off the handle to suddenly lose one's temper or self-control completely. Example, he flew off the handle when he realized someone had damaged his new car. Come off the hinges means to break down or collapse into total chaos or madness. Example, during the final minutes of the match, team's defensive structure completely came off its hinges. Next word is fumble. Fumble का means है गड़बड़ करना. Is to handle something clumsy, awkwardly, or to mess up. Uh, Example statement: the speaker made a great start but began to fumble his words when the tough questions started. Synonyms: bungle, mishandle, botch, flub, grope, stumble, drop. Antonyms: master, succeed, manage cleanly, grasp securely, execute smoothly. Idioms: fumble the ball means to drop the ball metaphorically, making a major blunder or failing to handle responsibility. Example, the same company had a huge advantage over its competitors, but they fumbled the ball by delaying their product launch. Phrasal word fumble around means to search for something blindly or clumsily with your hands. Example, I had to fumble around in my backpack to find the house keys. Fumble though means to struggle awkwardly through a speech, performance, or progress. Example, he hadn't rehearsed his presentation, so he just tried to fumble through the slides. Next word is spearhead. Spearheads mean नेतृत्व करना. Example, she was chosen to spearhead the company's new environmental and sustainability campaign. Synonyms: lead, head, pioneer, launch, initiate, direct, champion. Antonyms: follow, trail, lag behind, impede, obstruct. Idiom take the lead means to assume the primary role in guiding or controlling a task or project. Example statement: when the project manager fell ill, Sarah took the lead to keep the project on track. Phrasal word is spearhead an initiative, movement, effort to take charge of launching a major strategic project. Example, the NGO is working to spearhead an effort to clean up the city's rivers. Spearhead reform to act as the main force driving major organizational or legal changes. Example, the new director was brought in to spearhead structural reforms across the department. Next word, fray. Fray means धागे निकलना. Means young lawyer was eager to jump into political fray. Or after years of heavy use, the collar of his favorite shirt began to fray. इसका मीनिंग सिनोनिम से unravel, wear out or tatter, shade stain or conflict, scuffle, brawl, skirmish, clash. Antonym say harmony, peace, mending, repairing, smoothness. Idiom fray at the edges means to show signs of strain, weakness or starting to fail. Next is under the immense pressure of the crisis, the coalition government began to fray at the edges. Exam phrasal word enter or join the fray to get involved in an argument, fight or competitive situation. Several major tech arms decided to enter the fray by launching their own smart devices. Frayed nerves means extreme anxiety, irritability or emotional exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Example, 12 hours of continuous travel left everyone with frayed nerves. Resounding. Resounding means zabardast bhari. Means his speech ended with a resounding round of applause from the audience. Synonyms: emphatic, overwhelming, substantial, decisive, echoing, ringing, tremendous. Antonyms: moderate, slight, faint, doubtful, unconvincing, quiet. Idiom: with flying colors, to achieve a resounding success or win easily. She passed her final board exam with flying colors, scoring at the top of her school. Phrasal word are resounding success, undeniable or huge achievement. Example, the local charity drive was a resounding success, raising twice as much money as expected. A resounding defeat, an overwhelming or total loss. The purposed loss suffered a resounding defeat in parliament. A resounding yes or no, a clear, unambiguous agreement or refusal. Example, when asked if they wanted extra vacation days, the employee gave a resounding yes. Disenchantment means mohabang nirasha, feeling of disappointment. Example, there is a growing sense of disenchantment among voters regarding the government's unfulfilled promise. Synonyms: disillusionment, disappointment, cynicism, discontent, dissatisfaction, unmasking. Antonyms: enactments, infatuation, satisfaction, captivation, delight, idealization. Idiom: burst someone's bubble. To destroy someone's illusion in high hope, unrealistic positive expectation leading directly to in disenchantment. Sentence: I hate to burst your bubble, but the company isn't offering any performance bonus this year. Phrasal word: growing out widespread disenchantment, a sentiment of losing belief. Example, there is a widespread disenchantment with traditional social media platforms. Disenchantment with something means standard prepositional pairing to express what express the disillusionment. Example, her disillusionment with corporate structure led her to start her own small business. Vowed means कसम खाई प्रतिज्ञा की. Example, the government vowed to rebuild the damaged infrastructure within 6 months. Synonyms: pledged, sworn, promised, committed, guaranteed, bound, undertaken. Antonyms: denied, repudiated, disavowed, retracted, re- renounced, broken. Idiom: give one's word means to make a firm promise or give a solemn pledge. He gave his word that he would protect the confidential documents and keep that promise. Phrasal words: vow to make a firm or explicit commitment to an action. Example, she vowed to complete her degree despite all financial hardship. Cross one's hearts, an informal, colloquial oath emphasizing that a promise or statement is absolutely true. Example, I won't tell you anyone your secret. I crossed my heart. Next is furor. Furor means hangama, outbreak of public anger, excitement, or uproar about something. Example, the celebrity's controversial remark created a massive furor across social media. Synonyms: outcry, uproar, calm. Antonyms are calm, peace, quiet, tranquility, harmony, serenity. Idioms: keep up a stink means or keep up a fuss, meanings to create a public outrage or fuss over an issue. The example, the locals kicked up a stink when they learned park would be converted into parking lot. Phrasal word: cause or create furor, to trigger a sudden wave of public anger or debate. Example, the sudden hike in fuel prices caused furor among local communities. Stir up means to intentionally provoke anger, debate, excitement. Example, the new policy threatens to stir up a major political furor. Next is botched. Botched means bigda hua. Means the burglary attempt was completely botched, leaving the suspect trapped inside until the police arrived. Synonyms are bungled, blundered, ruined, spoiled, mishandled, flubbed, messed up. Antonyms are accomplished, flawless, perfected, well executed, mastered, successful. Idiom: make a hash of means to mess something up completely. Example, he tried to repair plumbing himself, but he ended up making a total hash of it. Phrasal word: botch up, to spoil or ruin some things. I hope I don't botch up my job interview tomorrow morning. Botched up job operation or attempt, a standard noun pairing describe an effort that ended in failure. Example, the renovation turned out to be a botched up job, costing twice as much to fix. Ousting means बेदखल करना, sudden ousting of company CEO, surprise investor and cause stock prices to drop. Synonyms: expulsion, removal, ejection, deposition, overthrow, unseating, dismissal. Antonyms: appointment, installation, retention, reinstatement, induction, admission. Idioms: show someone the door, means to force someone to leave an organization, position, or place. Sentence: after missing three major deadlines in a row, the board decided to show him the door. Phrasal word: oust from, to expel or remove someone from specific role, office, or territory. Example: dictator was ousted from power following widespread protest. Pushed out, to pressure someone into leaving their job position. Means senior partners attempted to push out the founder during the structuring. Next is weary. Weary means thaka hua या thakana. Example: long delays at the airport began to weary even the most patient travelers. Synonyms: exhausted, fatigued, drained, worn out, spent, lethargic, tired. Antonyms: energetic, refreshed, revitalized, vigorous, animated, rested. Idioms: run on the fumes means to continue operating or working when you are completely out of energy or exhausted. Sentence: I haven't slept in over 24 hours, so I'm basically run on fumes right now. Weary of, to grow tired, boresome, or impatient with something after dealing with it for a long time. Example: citizens have grown weary of hearing empty promises from politicians. Wear out, to exhaust someone completely, means chasing after toddlers all day will completely wear you out. Next is embattled. Embattled means विवादों से घरा हुआ. Example: the embattled mayor faced fierce criticism from both public and his own party. Synonyms are beleaguered, troubled, besieged, hard-pressed, harassed, under fire, threatened. Antonyms: unaware, unchallenged, untroubled, secure, peaceful. Idioms: under siege means being subjected to constant attack. Example: the school board found itself under siege from angry parents. Phrasal words: embattled leader, minister or politician, public figure dealing with intense scandal or political attacks. Example: the embattled leader refused to resign. Next is bear up. Bear up means to remain strong and endure severe difficulty or criticism without breaking. Means the CEO managed to bear up under intense public scrutiny during the hearing. Next is amidst. Amidst means ke beach or ke dauran. He managed to stay calm and focused amidst all the chaos and noise. Means synonyms are among, amid, in the midst of, surrounded by, encompassed by, during. Antonyms: away from, outside of, far from, separated from. Idiom: in the thick of means in the very middle of, busiest or most active, most intense part of situation. Example: she always preferred to be in the thick of the action rather than watching from sidelines. Phrasal words are amidst growing concerns means happening at a time when worries are rising. Next is amidst speculation occurring while rumors or guesses are spreading. Next is taping down. Tamping down means to dabana, suppress karna. He tamped down the dirt firmly around the new planted saplings. Synonyms: suppress, subdue, quell, curb, restrain, dampen, check, reduce. Antonyms: fuel, inflame, incite, encourage, boost, provoke. Idiom is keep a lead on, means to suppress or control anger or prices from escalating out of hand. Phrasal usage is tamp down expectations means to lower people's hopes. Next is tamp down fears means to calm down rising worries. Next is infighting. Infighting means आपसी कलह. Synonyms is factionalism, internal conflict, dissension, rivalry, feuding, strife, triangling. Antonyms: untidy, harmony, cooperation, solidarity, cohesion, accord. Idiom is house divided against itself. Means a group of organization that is ruined or weakened by internal disagreements. Another word is political. Petty infighting means common description of localized friction within an organization. Torn apart by means to be ruined or broken into pieces. Next is factionalism is kutbazi, dalbazi means idiom at loggerheads means in violent or persistent disagreement. engaged in a strong dispute or conflict. Phrasal word है rife with factionalism means widespread or full of internal group rivalry. A split into faction means to fracture or divide into competing subgroups. Next is the manure. Manures means paitra. Uh, Synonyms: movement, operation, tactic, exercise or feat. And for strategy, it is stratagem, scheme, rush, trick, devious plan. Antonyms: inaction, blunder, stoppage, openness. Idiom है play chess, not checkers means to think several steps ahead and execute clever long-term strategic maneuvers rather than making short-sighted moves. Phrasal words say maneuver in and out of to skillfully place oneself into or escape from difficult situation. Room to maneuver means the freedom or flexibility to change plans. Next word is abandon. Abandonance means छोड़ देना, त्याग कर देना. So leave idiom है leave in the lurch means to abandon or desert someone in difficult situation. He promised help us with moving, but he left us in lurch last minute. Okay, pleasure word say abandon ship means to leave a vessel figuratively to abandon a failing project or organization. Abandon hope means to give up all expectations. With a wide abundance means doing something with total enthusiasm and zero worry. Next is depredation means loop part. Synonyms say plundering, ravages, destruction, pillaging, devastation, spoilage, havoc, looting. Eating a wreak havoc means to cause widespread damage. Phrasal word hai lay waste to means completely destroy. Next one is contested. Contested means vivadit, disputed, challenged, debated, questioned, opposed, fought over, litigated. Antonyms: undisputed, unchallenged, accepted, agreed, unopposed. Uh, Bone of contention is the idiom. Idiom का मतलब है subject issue position that causes fierce disagreement. Nimbly. Nimbly means फुर्ती से. Grace means synonyms say gracefully, swiftly, lightly. Antonyms say clumsily, awkwardly, heavily, sluggish, stiffly. Light on one's feet means despite moving nimbly, quickly. Dance around a topic is the phrasal word जिसका मतलब है to teamly or cleverly avoid answering question.